Good morning, everybody. Bones here. Crack of dawn on a very cool West Virginia morning. Just working my way back down toward Charleston on this foggy day after an epic ride with a bunch of other motovloggers, and got some good video footage which I hope to post in the days ahead. I haven't decided. I've got so much material, nearly 70 gigabytes of material, and I know they had a bunch of material too. I haven't decided if I'm going to turn it into multi-parts or try to make it one part. We'll see. We did a lot of twisties. We did some paths that would be insulting asphalt to call them a road. Some of them were just dirt. I do believe that this wide glide here can do just about anything. I couldn't believe when we went up the side of those mountains on those gravel roads. I mean, everybody was just throwing gravel, and this little girl here, she just kept on going, didn't throw gravel, just moved on up the hill. And I was surprised that the front end did real well. She didn't try to get out from under me in the gravel. I was real pleased. The only thing I noticed about the trip was that when we were on some really pretty good twisties, you know, you see the sign on the side of the road that says there's a curve ahead, and if it says 45 miles an hour or 35 or 25 and so forth, but when it gets down to 10 miles an hour, that's a twisty. And I discovered that on some of those 10 miles an hour ones and a few of the 20s, I would scrape pretty good, and I almost levered a couple of times. So I said, okay, I can't go as fast through these curves as these other guys can, because see, my bike has been lowered about 1.5 inches. It just puts the CG down lower, makes it easier for me to handle the bike. That was one of the reasons that making the announcement here, I sold my Street Glide. Yes, I did. I had to get rid of it. I'm so sorry, but it just got too heavy and too difficult to handle for me as I got older. This thing here is a joy ride. It is maneuverable. The only thing I can think of is the downside about this bike is because it is lowered, that you have a larger turning radius that you got to make at a slightly slower speed to keep from scraping and, you know, levering up and doing a fall. But and the extended fork on the front end puts the front end out about nearly a foot further than it did on my Street Bob that I had before the wide glide. So you can't do a U-turn in an 8-foot space. It just isn't going to happen. It has a much larger turning radius. You can make a U-turn on a regular road, but if it's a rural road, a narrow rural road, you can't make a U-turn. You got to do a 2-point turn. Another way to turn, I found out, is to just do a locking turn and just give it a little gas, and it will do a turn with the wheel locked. So that's good. And the fog is burning off here, and we'll see here. It's a beautiful, beautiful ride. Just great country. I'm sure the guys that are coming in the end of June are going to really enjoy it. Only thing I can suggest is that they do take the time to enjoy it, because look at this beautiful scenery here. This is just magnificent, and have fun. So I'll be back with you you guys throughout this ride back to Charleston whenever I have anything fun to say, and stay tuned. No, some twisty. Yeah, these are the kind that I've got to be careful in. These are better twisties than the ones we had yesterday on the ride. road's a little damp too, so I'm kind of easing back on the throttle here. Ooh, darty. This is definitely going in the video. I'm on West Virginia 65, which is a nice road. Not all torn up. Got some nice groups of twisties in it. A little bit further for me to go this way, because it goes a little bit further south by east than the Highway 52 that I took getting in here, which, by the way, was a pretty good ride itself. I rode it with Maikeli7 and Moose, and was it Moose? No, it wasn't Moose. I stand corrected. Forgive me, Moose. It was Fedexguy and Harleytrek and I took the Highway 52 in from 77, and it was about 3 hours of 3.5 hours of twisties, and that was I was ready to be done with it at 3.5 hours. Unlike the Dragon, which you can get through, and even if you go slow, you can get through the Dragon in, you know, 30 minutes or more. A little bit more. This stuff around here just goes on and on and on. You know, the people that live here, they're used to it, man. We came around one turn, and it was a real snaky turn, and we were hooking it. And dadgummit, if there wasn't somebody parked, just stopped in the middle of a turn. And the leader was Kevin, Fedexguy, and he had to really get on it to get stopped. And of course, everybody rolled up on him. Well, I was a little further back because I can't go through the twisties quite as fast as they can, so I had plenty of stopping room. But boy, if a bunch of sport bikers had been coming through there really punching it, there would have been an accident there. And the people didn't seem to care. They didn't move. We had to go around them. That's what you see in this part of the country. Everybody here was very nice and treated us well, and I didn't meet a single real hillbilly. They're just ordinary people like you and me. And so that was refreshing, because everybody said, you get up there and those hillbillies, you won't be able to understand them. Oh, nonsense. They're just ordinary people like the rest of us. Saw a video last night from JT Sutherland where he was doing some twisties. I don't recall where it was, but they were some pretty good ones. The bow of the back of the Dragon, I think is what he said. And he kind of missed one and went across the lane. They got it stopped okay, no damage, no hurt, no foul. But he said it was a learning experience, because he just had that one split second of inattention. And that's what I'm afraid of, is I'll be daydreaming about something about home or something, or motorcycles or whatnot, and miss a subtle cue that I'm coming into something that I needed to be a lot slower for. And that seems to be the case of what happened with him. And I think he says he got to put in a little bit too much rear brake, and rear wheel broke loose too. So he didn't really have a lot of control in that twisty. So those are the things that worry me when we come down on these trips. So it's something for everybody to think about. Although if you've done the Dragon, you'd probably be fine on anything here. I didn't see anything that was Dragon caliber, which I call a grade 5 twisty. I've seen some other grade 5 twisties in North Carolina on Highway 64 between Asheville and get over here, boy. Between Asheville and Lake Lure, North Carolina. And I'm talking about some switchbacks there where you can slap yourself in the hand going by, kind of thing. surprised the hell out of me. I did that on the Street Bob, and the Street Bob was, I don't know, it didn't handle the twisties as well as this Wide Glide, and that's really interesting because the Wide Glide, everybody says, well, the Wide Glide is inherently unstable, but you know, the top aerobatic airplane competitors in the country want unstable airplanes because then they can make it do what they want it to do. They don't want stable airplanes. So I'm wondering if there's any correlation between what's reputed to be an unstable motorcycle and maneuverability. Now, I don't think this thing is unstable. I really don't. I can do anything I want with it. You just got to remember it takes a little bigger, wider turn radius, and it certainly balances nicely. I mean, you can ride it single-handed all day long, and no hands if you need to. So I don't know. I think that's all a wives' tale. You know how you have the haters that hate anything that isn't an ultra. They hate Sportsters, they hate V-Rods, they hate any Dynas. But one of the most popular Dynas is the Wide Glide. I think that might be, comment below if you know the answer, but I think it might have been one of the most populars. My friend Chris Lonsbury, he rides a Wide Glide. He's out of commission right now. His engine kind of went out on him. Not due to anything he did, it just may have been defective, who knows, but he had a extended warranty on it, and they're going to buy him a new long block, so he should be getting it back pretty soon, and we can ride together again. I was really hoping to get him to come on this trip with me, but he didn't have a bike. Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you that are interested, I have another Wide Glide, the match set for this one that I bought for my beautiful bride. That she tried it for a while and didn't care for it, and so we got it for sale. It's a 2006 Wide Glide. It's naked. It doesn't have the fairing or the bags or anything on it, and I'm asking, you know, $5,500 for it. I'd love to sell it. It's got 30,000 miles on it. Stage 2 intake and stage 1, I stand corrected, stage 1 intake and exhaust. Runs really well. A little bit cold natured when you first start it, but once it warms up a little bit, it's fine after that. So anybody interested, comment below. I've got about 3 hours of this. I'm not going to obviously make the video this long, so I'll cut the video in and out as we come through some nice twisties or see anything nice to see.